and Gemma
from Play to Learn Preschool. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. It is pouring with rain here, so our fingers are crossed that our internet connection will stay strong and we can share a dramatic play idea with you. Now, we have just been talking about how October is sort of like the sweet spot with preschool, right? Because September is survival. Mm-hmm. We're just teaching them how to function in each area of the room. And
we're surviving.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant, not the kids surviving.
We're surviving.
Everybody's surviving in September. But then by October, we can start to add in some really special things. So if you're here, let us know in the comments. We're not seeing anything yet, so I hope our internet connection is okay. Oh, let us know. Okay. We got nobody watching. Hey, nobody. All right. Oh no. This is nobody. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and show nobody our sandwich shop. Hi friends, are you out there? Hello. Hello. Okay. So our typical dramatic play area. Oh, hello. You are here.
It must just be slow. I think it's just slow.
It's like us.
Because all of a sudden there are people
pop
up.
Hello. There we go. I'm glad. We're glad you're here. Our typical dramatic play center is our kitchen area.
It's our kitchen, and by now they're really comfortable with the kitchen. And we've just added a few props before to change it. So we had the birthday party, and we added a few extra things as the weeks go on. This is a huge change for them. So.
That's thunder.
Yeah, so it's good. This is going to be a huge change.
This is the first big center we've set up. So we try to set up, we rotate the toys, of course, through the dramatic play and through all of our areas, but we try to set up something really special for our kids 2 out of the 4 weeks each month. So this week it's our sandwich shop.
And if you don't know us very well yet, dramatic play is our favorite thing. We love dramatic play. That's why we have a huge dramatic play area, and we change it up, and I feel like we're quite ambitious. But don't be intimidated by this, because you can do this on a small scale and it still will work just fine.
We hope that you can take some of these ideas and make them work for your own space and your own kids and for your own supplies. So we're going to flip the camera, and this is actually the second time we've done a video about the sandwich shop.
It is.
Last year, we had just started doing Facebook Live videos, and we did one in the very beginning of October.
And I was probably still very scared.
We were looking back at it, though. I think that not very many people saw it. So we're sorry if you've seen it already. We're going to go ahead and show you the sandwich shop.
And I still don't sing.
Have a video. All right, I am going to flip the camera around. Cindy's asking, how long are the threes interested in the different dramatic play ideas? We leave them up for either 1 week or 2 weeks. Oh, Brianna was here last year. Hey, thanks for joining us for a whole year.
We should give them trophies or something.
We should,
people who've stuck
a badge or something.
Thank you.
Yahoo, we love you.
And that doesn't count for our family. You're already stuck with us.
I don't think my mom's.
My
mom only watched intermittently and then she stopped.
Helen. Hi, Helen.
Hi, family. Okay. You remember the first video? You guys, you're so sweet. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Mono. See, all of our old friends are here. Okay, so we either leave it up for a week or 2. I always like to use the Seinfeld analogy. So Seinfeld...
I never watched Seinfeld. That was more Friends.
Oh, okay, I watched both. But Seinfeld, his last season of Seinfeld, the show, he was the top of the ratings. It was like the #1 show on TV, and he went out on top. And so I like to use that same analogy with our centers at school. We never try to leave them up so long that people get bored with them, right? So we try to switch them out while they're, still popular. So we leave it up for, a week or 2 weeks, and then switch it around. And they're like, oh, we love the sandwich shop. I'm like, I know, keep coming back for more.
One of the tricks of getting the kids to be really involved with the dramatic play areas that you set up is modeling how you do it and playing with them, because it's easy to say, oh, they know how to do it, and let them play without actually really involving yourself. But if you involve yourself with it, they will still be very interested, because they love having the teacher buy the sandwich or to clean up. I'm always the dishes.
The very first day that we introduced this, I actually had the name tags, and we'll show you those in a minute, down on the carpet. And I said, I'm so hungry. I didn't pack my lunch today. Do you think we could go buy a sandwich? And they kind of looked at me, and then I showed them, you know, the kitchen. So we came over, and Gemma and I modeled how to, you know, make the sandwiches, and they got to order their sandwiches from us. And then, of course, they wanted turns. And so we're going to flip the camera around and stop talking and start showing you the good stuff. So thank you guys who are still here last year.
That's incredible.
We love you. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around. Let's see what we can figure out here.
3-year-old, 4-year-old.
Oh, there's my ceiling. All right. So this is, I just lost my shoe. All right, I have one shoe on, one shoe off. This is the entrance to the sandwich shop. We have a little sign that says this shop is open or the shop is closed. And this is really good for print awareness. So the kids, although they can't read all 5 of those words, they will notice the O for open and the C for closed, and they'll switch the sign around based on whether we're doing centers or we're not. And then underneath there, we have the employee name tags. So depending on the number of kids you have, you know, you can put out a variety of name tags. We have a manager. That's usually Gemma, keeping everybody in order.
I'm normally the one, I don't know if we have it for this particular dramatic play, but sometimes we have the dishes, and that's normally me.
That's it.
I'm normally the one who's going and putting the food back after they've eaten it.
The cashier.
This one, look at this tag, it's so well used because
They
this
fight
is their
over
favorite.
it. We of course have customers, and we have some sandwich makers. So I'm going to move over to the menu part, I think, to start, and then we can show the other pieces.
Okay.
So let's see. So this is the entrance to the sandwich shop, and this is just our dramatic play like storefront. And rather than doing paper menus, if you buy the sandwich shop printable on TPT, there is a paper menu. But since this is our first one, we just did these big sign menus. And basically what they're going to do is kind of look at the 4 steps. So we showed that to them, how step 1 is they choose their bread, either bread or roll. And then step 2, they can choose their protein.
There's meat and cheese, bacon and eggs.
Step 3 is they're going to choose their veggie toppings.
Tomatoes, onions, lettuce, pickles.
And then step 4, they can add condiments, and don't forget a drink. Now, the sets that we have, I'm going to show you over here, are Melissa and Doug. They're sandwich making set, and it's got a lot more options. It's got like a peanut butter and jelly option, and it's got pita bread. But we just picked out just a few because it's the beginning of the year. So if you're using this at the end of the year, if your kids have been playing for a lot longer, then you could definitely add the pita pockets and the peanut butter and jelly, but we just tried to pare it down a little bit because it was too many choices.
We have brown bread, white bread, and rolls.
So if I'm gonna order a sandwich, are you also gonna make a sandwich even though you're the manager?
The manager probably does everything.
Probably.
Have my plates here. What would you like, Jamie?
I think a sub roll, please.
Okay. What kind of meat would you like? I spend most of my day on my knees. I don't
Yeah,
know
me
if
too.
everyone else does that. I'm probably the only grown-up who gets holes in their knees on
You
their
need like a
jeans.
patch. Wait, hold on, I'm gonna move the chair so we can just see. I'm sorry, meat. Oh, how about
Pink, brown, and speckled, which is
I
actually
think that's like
bologna,
salami.
turkey, and...
I don't surprise me. Ham, please.
Okay, we'll go with this pink one.
Ham. And then the next basket, and you can see too, do you mind moving the meat just so they can see the label in the basket, please? Thank you so much. So we actually double label all of our supplies. So we put, you have to imagine like if everything gets dumped out, how they're gonna, just imagine. Use your imagination.
Imagine
Use
it.
your imagination.
That would never happen in preschool.
Oh,
that
right.
Anyone
So
dumps anything out.
Picture all the baskets are empty, then they need to know which basket goes in, but also if they move the basket off the table, they need to know where the basket goes.
Goes
so,
back like.
So I'll take some
Like
a Swiss cheese, that sounds delicious.
Okay. Egg or bacon?
No, thank you.
Do we have the picture on here? You don't want egg or bacon?
No, thank you.
Tomato, onions?
Yes, please. Tomato and onions.
Lettuce?
Sure. Thank
Light
you.
green or dark green?
Well, is the dark one spinach?
I don't know.
Okay, yes, please.
You'll have both. Okay, and
That's a
what
big
about
sandwich.
pickles?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And so then the kids are acting this out. So the kids are going to be the ones making the sandwich. The kids are interacting with each other, you know, to order the sandwich. And I think I'd like a drink.
What
This
would
is
you
our
like?
little homemade drink machine. So Gemma made this drink machine.
I made it. Is it last year I did this?
I think so.
I think I need to.
We've
do
done a
that.
couple of
I
different
need
versions
to
of
fix
it.
up a little bit.
So
Lemonade
it's,
is good.
I'll show you underneath here. So it's just a box. I think it's a Scholastic book box.
Yeah.
And then underneath we just taped 2 cups and then put a little felt piece.
Yeah,
I'll try to
this
get
is
a little.
Felt.
Just a little
stuff,
felt
and then
piece.
I stuck
Oh boy,
the cups.
I can't get the camera
I
up in there.
stuck the cups underneath it.
We just stuck them under there. So then they just pretend, and there's like a little press here. They can just pretend. Lemonade, please. And then, oh, we forgot the condiments.
Oh, you have to see.
This is so cute.
They are so cute. So
These are new from Melissa and Doug.
Look at these.
Ooh,
So
the
they're
camera's being weird. Hold on.
got me.
Yes.
Open the lid and.
Look, it's like ranch dressing or
Isn't that funny?
mayonnaise. So this is a set. There's 5 in that set of condiments. Ketchup, barbecue sauce.
It's so fun.
The other thing that we put over here were some brown paper lunch sacks for to-go bags.
To go, just in case.
Part of our dramatic play problem is that we don't have enough customers, so we take a lot of phone orders, pretend phone orders, and then we put them in bags to go.
Yeah.
And so then the kids will come over here, and they can ring it up with the little cash register. So in this situation, and then you'd be like, "How much is this?"
It's normally
Like $50,000.
or very cheap.
The other day I had a whole sandwich for $1.
Oh, and mine was $50,000.
Exactly, 50,000. But we have a little notepad here where they can take phone orders, and they just, circle the pictures or color them in or write their names on them. And then once you have your sandwich, you can sit here and eat it. And then somebody has to reshelve all the sandwiches.
That'd be me. No,
Although-
we try and get them to do it, and they're actually
The
they're
pre-K
really
kids
good
are.
with it.
Yeah. So somebody asked about the baskets. They're from Home Depot, but any basket.
Anything.
Any
And
basket would
we
work.
duct tape them to the table.
They are duct taped down
Yes.
because the kids, they're dumpers
And
still.
they slide, also they
So,
slide
like,
around. if
They
you-
do. Oh, I just don't.
She's messing up my
What?
It's because
Sorry.
that one was removed earlier.
So just, we do duct tape them down. They usually stick better than that. Anyway, so that's that. And then you reshelve
Then you
your
just
eaten
put it
sandwich.
And start again, because the main part of this is they enjoy making the sandwiches as opposed to pretending to eat them.
That's true. So, let me see if I messed up the camera here, if we can still sit. Woo! So some of the things that the kids learn through dramatic play, because I know people think, hold on, let me get the camera. People might think like, oh, they're just playing, they really should be learning. But the thing is that they're sorting, so that's a really important math objective. They are reading the labels and having that concept that, we can write something down and it means something to everybody, which is a really important, emergent reader pre-reading skill. They're pretending to write the orders. They're using language to interact with each other,
Communication.
answer the phone, make their needs and wants known, which is really important for our youngest students.
They're working out how to solve any problems they might come across. They have the role playing, so that's really important how they can figure out who's going to be who, and if they don't have a turn with that one, then they have to wait.
They negotiate that space and time. We do have really small classes, so we don't have to say only 10 kids are allowed over here at a time. If you have a big class, you might need to manage it a little bit differently. We can't give you advice on your class because you're the expert, not us. But for us, they can't all be over here and negotiating the space and the supplies and the roles with each other. It is really good for life skills. Yes, just like figuring out, a process and following. First we do this, then we do that.
A lot of the times they've already had the experience of going to a sandwich shop with their parents, so they kind of know how it's going to go. But for them to be the ones in control of ordering their food instead of mom or dad doing it for them, they get empowered by that, and they really like, oh, look at me, I'm a really big kid now. Look at me doing it. It's cute.
It is really cute. It depends where you live, but here in Northern Virginia, we have like 4 different chains of sandwich shops.
More.
They're everywhere. And our grocery store has like a sandwich shop in it, the local one that all the kids go to. And so they're all really familiar with this process. Mm-hmm. So if you're just introducing dramatic play for the first time to your students, pick something that they've all done. If it's the grocery store, or if it's
coffee house,
a coffee shop, or
restaurant.
Yeah, restaurant, or the doctor's office. Pick something that is not a stretch. That they've been there in the last week or two, because
it's good. That's half. You've already done half of the amount of work. If they are familiar with it, then it's easier to explain it because they already. Oh, I know how to do this.
Kim has a really interesting question, so I'll read it to you.
I can't see it.
It says, how do you get them to do anything other than dramatic play? I feel like my students would spend their entire time there.
We're okay with them doing that.
They do.
You just have to make the other centers just as appealing as the dramatic play. And I think we do that. And you can encourage them if you see them starting to dump food or kind of losing interest or not playing with the things in the correct way. That's when you say, hey, why don't we go and try this? Or do you want to go and try this for a while? And sometimes they do need to choose something different.
Sometimes they don't.
Sometimes
though.
they don't.
We had a
If you're
student
the
yesterday.
manager and you want to be the manager the whole time, we had a child a few years ago who was the manager for everything, and she was fantastic. And she didn't want to leave that dramatic play because she had to run that. She was running the ship there, and that's
And
how she
even
did
yesterday, we had a student. He's a new student, and he wanted to do the sandwich shop the entire time during centers. And he was reading, he was writing, he was sorting, he was identifying money, he was interacting with the other kids, he was like managing the orders, he was answering the phone, he was reshelving the, reshelving or putting
playing
the food
appropriately with everything.
And so then who are we to say we've got something better?
If that's what he wants
He
to
was
do.
doing everything we wanted him to do. He was reading, he was writing, he was using language, he was practicing his social skills. Oh, great. Then that's only one thing we have to plan, right? We actually didn't plan a big art project for yesterday because we knew that they would want to do
Because
this.
we weren't here on Monday, so yesterday was the first day that they've seen it. Our older kids. So tomorrow is our 3-year-olds, our 3-year-old class. So it may go in a different way, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll let you know how that goes.
We'll see. They're gonna love it.
Fine.
They're gonna love it. So I actually went to a conference and heard Diane Trister Dodge speak. She's the founder of the Creative Curriculum and has written a number of books that I adore. She's I don't know if she's the CEO of Teaching Strategies Gold, Anyway, and she said something that really stuck with me even years later. She said, the thing about having child-directed centers is I can teach everything a child needs to know in the block area. And I feel the same way about the dramatic play, about any area. A good teacher can put everything that kid needs in that area. So we don't mind if they do that the whole time.
Yeah. And also, if you don't have a big budget to go and buy Melissa and Doug, it's okay. Remember that you have to use your imagination a little bit. Maybe go to the craft store, get some felt. It doesn't have to look fantastic because the kids won't care. If anyone's seen our cookie store dramatic play, I made those with cardboard and felt.
They love them.
And they loved it just the same as they love any of the other dramatic play centers. So you just have to be a bit creative. And if you can't go and buy felt, then you could use foam,
construction
or
paper that's
anything,
laminated.
Anything.
Yeah. I think Target even had, I don't know if they still do, they had a wooden sandwich set at the dollar spot. They were like sandwiches for $1 and you could separate all the pieces out of that. So like we said at the very beginning, we hope that this isn't something that you'll say, oh, my room isn't that big.
Or
I don't have those supplies.
I can't afford to get that, or I just don't have the space to store it. There are ways to be able to at least do it on some scale, because I think your children will really enjoy it and get a lot out of it.
Yeah. So we hope
we enjoy it.
We do. And they learn a lot. They're all writing. So just hopefully you can take this inspiration and ideas. I left links. Somebody asked, where do we get the supplies? I left links of where I've ordered them from in the video description. There are also more pictures of the sandwich shop and a link if you'd like to purchase the labels. I think they're $3.50 for all of the menus and labels and everything. Kathy wants to know her kids, all they want to do is play in the blocks and you can't get them to do writing. I would say move writing into the block area, Kathy. Take some signs and tape over there. Add markers so they can make street signs or, do not touch my tower signs.
What they're creating, so once they've made it, they can draw it.
Yeah, so if they're already in the blocks, then don't try to get them to move out of the blocks. Take that writing stuff and move it in with the blocks. Give them clipboards and crayons to be able to, draw maps.
But you might have to model it for them.
Oh yeah, model.
Because if you just give them a clipboard and say, why don't you draw this, they're not going to get that. So if you go in there with the blocks and you draw what you've created, then they will hopefully follow suit.
Gemma and I are in a hurry because we both taped This Is Us last night. We haven't watched it yet, so
Don't
it's been real. We got places to go. Don't give any spoilers.
Should we do Wednesdays. I don't know if we should do Wednesdays because of this.
We both have some
this is
TV to
us.
watch in a minute.
We love you guys, but
come on. The big three.
if you don't watch that, you
need to watch that show.
Catch up from last year. It was so good.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you always have fun playing and learning with your kids.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye everybody.